good, y'all, and welcome to my review for the final episode of Season 7, man. We are finally here. We have reached the end of the season, man. Fun fact, this episode, Bones actually finished this episode about 3 days before the actual broadcast of it. So, yeah, shout out to them, man. Not working till the 11th hour. Mappa could never do this, man. They could, like, releasing an episode early, releasing it before the air date, not like minutes or hours before there. No, man, they could never do that, man. So, yeah, some of the, I believe it was a series director for season 7 posted on Twitter like them having a pizza party at the studio while they were watching the final episode. It was Domino's too, so they have good taste. They have good taste in pizza. In all seriousness, man, what an episode this was, man. Between this and last week's episode, I would definitely give this one the slight edge. I don't know if I would go and declare this a top 10 episode series. It is damn close, and if I ever sit down and actually rank my top 10 all-time favorite episode of Hiroaka, this might sneak in, but yeah, I'm not gonna make that declaration just yet, ladies and gentlemen, like I did for the Todoroki family episode, man. But yeah, these are both masterful episodes, both this and the Toga episode. I definitely was not in love with it as much as everyone else was. Like, there was a lot of people saying that this was like one of their favorite episodes and everything, man. Like, I don't feel that strongly about it, me personally, man. It definitely did affect me. It was definitely an incredible episode, but like, not one of my personal favorites, I don't think. But yeah, man, this is an incredible episode. We, of course, already got the confirmation for Season 8, going to be releasing next year, the final season. Season 8 will be the final season, just shy of the anime's 10-year anniversary, man. Which definitely got me wonder what they'll do for the 10-year anniversary. That's when we'll get the Izo-Ocha last movie. We'll see. And we'll even get a movie to tie in with season 8 there. They're gonna wait till after the show wraps up and then do the next movie. We'll have to wait and see how that was. Now, everyone has confirmed that, well, the material that's left in the manga, that the anime is only going to be one core. It's going to be a single core anime. Maybe up, now, given this one was like 21 episodes, that one could end up being like 15 episodes or something. It might go back to 13, like season 1. It'll be around there. It'll be under 20 episodes. We know that to be certain. Although, to be fair, they probably could stretch it to like 20 plus episodes if they wanted to expand on the epilogue, like with the manga, because I think the epilogue was like, what, 5 chapters long? If they want to extend it, maybe Horikoshi got some more ideas, with stuff with the episodes going to be added into the final volume, man. There's a good chance they might be able to stretch it to 20 episodes again, and it's just after that, it's just expanding on, the epilogue stuff. We'll have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, man, this was an absolutely incredible episode, man. Also, guys, if the review gets again delayed again, guys, because once again, like 2 weeks ago, I swear to God, this only happens with the All Might episodes, man. Whenever All Might's in an episode, man, there's always some fuckery going on. But we're back to be moving the storage units, moving the box and storage again. We're gonna be moving them to different storage sites into storage areas we got there, man, from the crates. So yeah, that's gonna take all day, man. Hopefully, at least I'll finally get my desk back by the end of the weekend, man, hopefully. But, yeah, if the review ends up not coming out until, like, late tonight, that's why, guys. I literally recorded the episode reaction at, like, 6 in the morning, which I'm probably going to upload that first, just so it's up there, just in case just to make sure there's something up for you guys to watch while I'm waiting for the review to finish. But, yeah, man, I got that. You guys know, of course, we got Bleach still. There's Wrestle Dream today, which, depending on how long it takes me to finish up Hero Walkman, I might just skip Wrestle Dream and watching it live. I might go back and watch it on Sunday or Monday just so I can finish up the rest of the reviews I got for you guys. We'll have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, man, without further ado, enough jibba jabba, let's just jump right into the actual episode. So we start the episode where we left off last week, back with Uraraka and Toga, which I have to say, surprisingly, not as many bad takes from the previous episode as I thought we were going to get, man. And I didn't even see a single, yes, ladies and gentlemen, not a single tweet about queer baiting. It was also kind of shocking and refreshing to see. I mean, MHA Bad said bad, that the anime was probably better literacy than the manga readers, which I think is true. Because like I said, not a single tweet about queerbaiting, man. I was honestly kind of shocked that wasn't just, a repeat of what happened in the manga, man. Because you guys know, when this happened in the manga, it was a whole ass shitstorm. It was a whole ass shitstorm. with this fun. But anyway, guys, first of all, I have to say once again, fantastic work from Uraraka and Toga's seiyus, man. They both sound absolutely brilliant here, ladies and gentlemen. And the music, once again, from Yuki Hayashi, phenomenal as well, man. And yeah, like I said before, I said this in my review for the last episode that I cannot wait to hear Lucy and Leanne tackle this episode, man, because I know they finna cook. They finna cook, man. I look forward to when this episode airs. Caitlin Glass did amazing in the Mina episode last week, man. So I'm excited. I think this week might be the Todoroki episode for the dub. I'm not entirely sure. I think it is, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for when the dub gets here, man. Anyway, we see Toga's clones more starting to all disappear as we see the ones that were surrounding the Todoroki family. Where it looks like Endeavor actually like sat on top of everybody to to protect them, which we'll see. And then we get to see, then we see Ida, where we actually see the dude's on his knees this time, and he has finally gotten up from the floor, at least in some form or fashion. We see one of the Toga clones Twice clones got really close to him there, man. So, and then we see with Hawks, man, the clone was just about to stab him before they started disappearing. As he says that, because Twice was a good guy. But Toga Himeno, as she fades away from existence, as she fades away too. And then man and that's when Hawks just collapsed. He's like, I'm done. And man just collapses, passes the fuck out, right next to Tokoyami. Before we finally have her back to Toga and Uraraka, as Toga picks up her mask scarf thing, I don't know what the hell this is called, and drags it alongside back to Uraraka. She says that the knife she held because she wanted to become what she loved, she ended up holding with anger and hatred in order to make the world an easier place for her to live in. This is when we start to see Toga start to feel the effects of using people's quirks multiple times, man. Especially with Twice with everything. She was like Uraraka's thing was one thing, man, but she was definitely really straightening herself and really pushing herself by using Twice's quirk and Sadman's parade and all that jazz, man. As we also see that the rest of the people that were caught up in, the chain attack from Zero Gravity are all slowly and gently being dropped back down on the floor. As Toga says herself, even at the end, she won't drop anybody. Of course, Uraraka is seconds from death at this point, man. She is bleeding profusely and was moving a lot from the battle, she had with Toga. As Toga mentions how she's lost a lot of blood. And Uraraka is saying that her mind doesn't feel like it's connected to the rest of her body, that she has to move. And this is when Toga Dracula gets right next to her, man. She drinks some of her blood, turns into Uraraka, and actually starts to take one of her blood injector thingies. I don't know if these have official names. Injects one into one arm and uses the other one to inject into Uraraka's arm to give her Uraraka's blood, because as she mentions that when she transforms into someone, that also includes her blood as well. I would say it's kind of convenient, but at the same time with Toga's core being blood, I guess it does make sense that her blood would also mimic that person that she is, that she transforms into. So, there she goes. She starts giving Uraraka her blood. I gotta say, though, I love the key animation on the one shot of Uraraka on Toga, when her face is half Uraraka, half her, is that she's smiling with tears in her eyes as she's giving Uraraka her blood, man. Looked amazing, man. The key animation there looked absolutely great. After she says, I'll give you all of my blood. Uraraka thinks to herself that she feels warm, but you can't do that. If you do, she doesn't finish, but she'll die if she does. And then I actually completely forgot about the scene in season 5, man, where we see Twice did a similar thing to help Toga out when she was dying, man. Honestly, very big brain of Twice to do that, man. That was very clever of him to do that, man, to clone Toga and then use the blood of the clone, or the clone of the clone or the double, whatever, to do a blood transfusion between the clone and the original Toga to keep the original Toga alive. Honestly, kind of clever, big brain move of Twice right there, ladies and gentlemen. And then she takes one of the bits off, and then she takes one of the needles off the other one, man, breaks it off there, and then closes the wound shut. Now, where the fuck this woman got fabric or string to of course tie it up to make sure the stitch holes in place, man? I don't know where she got this fabric. Did she have it lying around? Did she take it from her scarf thing? Where did she get? I didn't even notice this at first when I watched the episode, but when I went back and rewatched it, that's when I noticed that she did have some string around it, man. So Yeah, like I don't know where she got it, but there you go. Anyway, she finally closes up the room, and like I said, Yuki Hayashi's music that was playing throughout this part of the episode, man, was absolutely fantastic, man. This is such an amazing track. And then as she's like sewing her up, she says, she says Uraraka only had to capture villains. All you had to do was eliminate delinquents. All you had to do was act like a hero and do what was right. But you thought of other things, like your opponent who hurt a lot of your friends and stabbed you. Yes. We cannot forget about Toga stabbing Uraraka and almost delivering a killing blow before, Uraraka managed to save her, in a sense. And then, of course, she calls her weird. Uraraka calls her weird for just giving her all her blood. And then she actually apologizes for stabbing her, and then she also apologizes for yelling at her as she's like crying. Once again, Toga Seiyu, man, she sounded amazing. We get another flashback back from earlier. I think this was like the first episode. I think this was like from the first episode of season 7, where she mentioned about about Dabi burning down her childhood home, so that wasn't there anymore. A house that was full of nothing but bad memories. But she mentions that even though it's gone, it's still in my heart. And then she says, Uraraka, you didn't pretend it never happened. That was painful, but when you touched me, my heart lifted. It felt lighter. We get back to that flashback when Izuku and Uraraka had their little talk about Shigaraki and about Toga, and then she thanks her, and we see her that she was actually holding on to the little like plushie or keychain, whatever that Izuku gave her, which makes me wonder where she got it from, because I'm pretty sure Uraraka did get it back in season 6. So unless I'm misremembering that episode, and she did, actually Toga was holding on to this entire time, maybe it wouldn't surprise me if it fell out during the battle. Toga was just giving it back to her, man. And anyway, she said she was really happy. Now, one thing I want... actually, I'm going to hold up on this stuff until we get through the rest of the 8 part of the episode with Toga and Uraraka. We'll talk more about this then, because there's something in there that I want to talk about, man, that I've seen a lot of shit takes about, man, and I want to kind of talk about this a little bit. She continues on saying that she wanted to become other people so badly that she was jealous and loved them, and of course wanted to drink their blood. Once again, Uraraka is like crying. I think she's like trying to tell Toga to stop this, man, because obviously she doesn't want her to die. But but she's so weak, man. Toga, man, she is convinced. She's like, I have done all I could. I have lived the life I want to live, and I am going to save Uraraka if it fucking kills me. Which, it kind of does. I don't know if that counts as a spoiler or not, but I think all of us could, like, read between the lines and figure, like, yeah, she isn't surviving this, is she? But anyway, we then cut over to Toga inside by this nice, flowery field with blue skies and trees and everything. Like, honestly, jokes aside, man, this section of the episode looked absolutely beautiful, man. Like, I don't know who was doing the key animation and whatnot for this part of the episode, man, but they did an amazing job here, man. She says, if I'd known sooner, then maybe I would have wanted to give them my blood just as much as I wanted to drink their blood. If I had come across that kind of light earlier, the world may have been an easier place to live in. And then we cut back to Toga, and then we get cut back to Toga and Uraraka, with now Toga's body just kind of just like laying sort of on top of Uraraka with like her arm and everything, man. I think by this point she's dead. I think by this point she has died of blood loss at this point, man. Not entirely sure, but either that or she is very close to death's door. As she says, I lived the way I wanted for what I loved. The girl with the cutest smile in the world. A normal girl. As we see a bird fly off in the distance, and we saw Toga in the flower sequence, holding the sparrow that, that kind of like set this all in motion, that she drank the blood of, and we see it fly, and she kind of like throws it into the air and lets it fly away. And that's when we get to the commercial cards to get to Almond before we cut over to Almond. Now, let's get into something that I want to talk about real quick, and I'll try to be a bit vague because this kind of does go into manga spoilers. I have seen occasionally, this was especially prevalent like right when the series had wrapped up in the manga, and once again I'll be vague, but I'll probably once again bring this up once we get to the end of season 8 with Izuku and Shigaraki's fight, concludes. But I have seen a lot of takes saying how Uraraka failed to save Toga. Now, if you mean failed and says she's not in prison, alive and well, and she is, serving her time, is being rehabilitated, and comes out, atoning for her crimes, and comes out as a better person, and all that jazz, then sure, she failed. But Uraraka from the start. She mentioned that she cannot forgive Toga for what happened. Even like as she mentioned in the previous episode, even if Toga survived this fight, she would have been given the death penalty. She would have died regardless. It would have just been whether it be on the battlefield saving Uraraka or would have been in a prison cell. There is no continuity. There is no universe where Toga gets away with this scot-free. She will either be serving life in prison or she would be given the death penalty. Either way, she would be dying in a cell or dying in one shape or another. Now, what Uraraka was always trying to do was save her heart, trying to appeal to the little girl, to the little girl that was inside Toga, the little girl that just wanted to be saved, the girl that just wanted to be heard, that wanted to be loved and receive love, as she is so much been so outward with her love. That's all Uraraka was trying to do, and she succeeded in that front. She made Toga feel like an actual little girl, like a teenage girl for once, talking about love. She saved her in the fact that she felt loved, in some capacity. Someone finally reciprocated the love. Now, of course, the she'll come in there and tell you about how Uraraka fell in love with a serial killer, which was never the case. But that was what Toga was trying. That was Uraraka was trying to do. She was trying to save her heart, save it from the evil and the hatred and anger that had been and the darkness that had engulfed it for so long. And in that case, yes, Uraraka succeeded in that. She did not fail to save Toga. She succeeded in it. In that sense, because that's what she was trying to do, and that's the way Horikoshi's always been trying to portray it as. Not save them in the sense that they live to fight another day, but save them in the sense they saved their hearts, and that they finally left, and they didn't leave the world or have any more anger and bitterness and hatred in their hearts anymore. That's the whole reason they became villains in the first place. She saved her heart. And I'm pretty sure one last thing is that I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my review for the previous episode for the Toga no Uraraka fight, but Horikoshi Sensei is this generation's Sam Raimi. Not only in the sense that he started from the bottom, was a nobody, and forever changed the superhero genre for the better. Sam Raimi with the Spider-Man films, Horikoshi Sensei with Hiroaka. Not in the sense that they're both, horror fanatics and shove horror whenever they can. The Doc Ock, the surgery scene, Spider-Man 2, Horikoshi in various points of the series. But while yes, they do share those commonalities for them, and obviously having a massive love for Spidey and Marvel, but also due to the fact that when it came to their version of superheroes, they always view their characters through the lens of empathy. Whether it's the heroes or the villains, they always try to appeal to the humanity of these characters. Why did they become villains in the first place? For Doc Ock, it was the death of his wife and trying to finish his research. For Toga, it was trying to be loved and being rejected by society. That's honestly like the League in general. And of course, Dabi with the Todoroki family and, the abuse he suffered from Endeavor and all that jazz, man. And just like how people view Sam Raimi, how he wrote his villains with Green Goblin and Doc Ock, and Sandman to a certain extent as well, that is why so many people love those versions of those characters in those films, because they feel so real. Because of the fact that he views them through the lens of empathy, all the characters feel way more real and three-dimensional. That worked in the Sam Raimi films, and that is another reason why I love Hiroaka so much, is because how real the characters feel. Even the villains, there's always something more. Very few of them are a cartoonish villain. You could maybe make that argument for Overhaul, and like All for One being the most villainous, just straight up villains with no real redeeming qualities or anything else to really, explain away their villainy. Overhaul, it's kind of the whole thing with his dad and everything, or at least his father figure. But All for One, as far as we know, there's nothing there. And that's what happened here. And then that's when we cut to All Might, man, and oh my god, man, season 8, man, I cannot wait, man. You guys may remember, if you guys are paying attention to it, there were like some leaks, which obviously ended up being bullshit, that they were instead going to be doing movies for the final arc. Because you guys know, Toho has been doing a lot of movies recently, like, of course they did, I think there was something else they did, but like, the big one was, of course, Haikyuu got its final, like, I think it was like 100 chapters got condensed into a single movie. I think it was, I don't know if it was that many chapters, but it was a lot of chapters. Probably there was definitely at least a season's worth of content that could have made it stay of other than just, one movie. Demon Slayer's final arc is being a trilogy of films, man. So there's a lot of people wondering, like, if we're going to do movies, if we're going to do movies instead. Like I said, there was a leak about it, which ended up being bullshit, but also we know we get season 8. Well, a movie for the final arc, for the final, remaining chapters, would have been cool, and the animation would have been nuts. Because, imagine Nakamura on that, man. She. But I think it was wise that they do a TV series instead, so they got more time to build, and I don't gotta worry about, seeing spoilers on my timeline if I can't watch the movie in theaters. And all that jazz, man. But yeah, man, we got one final season left. I wouldn't be surprised if they do it. I wouldn't be surprised if they expand upon even more upon the epilogue, more than what we'll see in the additional manga pages added for the final volume release. But yeah, man. So yeah, but I'm sure they'll probably expand it a little bit more, man. But I'm excited. Hopefully, with that one, we get to see Nakamura working on Iron Mike. Because as you guys remember, I mentioned this I mentioned this in my reaction to this episode. I might mention this in the past review as well. That Nakamura did post on his Twitter a picture of Iron Man. Everyone thought that was going to be his cut for the season, which ended up being Ida. Now that could just mean he's going to work on a cut for that in season 8, because the fight's not done yet. We could see him in season 8 work on this fight. So we'll have to wait and see on that, ladies, to know how that will pan out. But anyway, man, we cut back to All Might. It's basically right where we left off with him, like 2 episodes ago or whatever it was. And of course, he gets a flashback to Sir Night Eye. So you will die an unspeakably gruesome death. Shout out to Brandon. And then All Might mentions if your foresight was correct, this must be it. This is where you die an unspeakably gruesome death while you're in a mech suit. Which, we'll see. We'll see if All Might does die. Then extremely gruesome death. But anyway, man, this is when they lock eyes like we saw before, and then that's when he finally transforms, man. In the transformation sequence, there are so many bits in this episode. When we see the UI, is very reminiscent of the Iron Man helmets from the MCU. The overall transformation sequence was, of course, all CGI. While the suit itself was mostly 2D, which is kind of shocking in this climate, because you guys know mechs are almost exclusively 3D now, unless it's a Gundam show. More or less, or maybe it's Trigger or something. More or less, whenever there's a mech, man, it's CGI, like Ninja Kamui. Any other anime that has mechs in it, it's always CGI, man. Not this time, man. Iron Mike, he was actually completely 2D, minus his transformation. I think there might have been a couple other sequences where they used 3D animation, but most of this was 2D. This was thanks to them using a lot of veteran 2D mech animators for this episode, man. Apparently, this portion of the episode, man, was actually storyboarded by the 3D director. By the 3D director of Hirawaka. He took over the storyboard for the sequence, man, for Iron Mike's transformation, man. And the mech suit itself, design is sucks. I haven't actually talked with the design yet, as I've been gushing about the scene. Honestly, I love the design of it. The all-black look, the gold, pointy bits that obviously are meant to represent his hair, his mouth being exposed so he can for his smile and everything, man. I love this mech suit, man. It looks fucking awesome. Anyway, seeing all this, how cool Iron Mike looks here, man, with the transformation, the UI of his suit, very reminiscent of Iron Man, it makes me real excited for what we see at the end of what we'll see at the end of the series. If you know, you know. So, yeah. But anyway, this looked absolutely amazing. Like I said, most of this was 2D too, which I think was the great part. Most of this was 2D. Like I said, we don't see that in anime most of these days, man. Outside of Gundam, where we see 2D mechs. So this was a rare treat. And he tells Hercules, his car, to start recording, which the car implies that he already is. And so they showed up on the screen at the base of operation going on with the police, and they're shocked by this, man. They're like, a car is a support item too? And then this I didn't catch when I first watched the episode, man, but on rewatch I got this, man, and this just warmed my heart, where La Brava sees All Might and All for One. Start! Stream! And she hits enter, man, and the two of the guys say, hey, don't put her in there, and don't put everything in. Don't say it like you're about to hit a Bankai. Man, seeing a Bleach reference, man, always warms my soul, man. Shout out to Bleach, and we got Core 2, we got Core 3 airing right now too, man. It's a good day to be a Bleach fan, man. It's a good day. This one, man, every time Horikoshi would throw in a Bleach reference or like Jujutsu Kaisen would do it, man, it always warms my soul to see Bleach getting the love it deserves, man. You love to see it, man. Anyway, we get a flashback back to like right when All Might left, where All Might was leaving. He asked him like, "Hey, dude, where are you going?" To support the others. Support what? With that body? He tells him, and he wonders that this is where he decided to die. I mean, hell, it's a hell of a place to die if I've ever seen it, man. This would be a good death, as they would call it. But he's like, there's no way. No matter how many devices he has, he cannot beat him. He cannot beat All For One, completely quirkless. And then we get to the actual when we get to the actual fight itself, and this is basically takes up the rest of the episode. Which you actually got some of the image that look like it was ripped right out of the OP, or at least reminiscent of it, like when All For One goes for that diving attack he hits first, and All Might and Iron Man's like chasing after him. That was in the OP. We basically see that in the episode itself, man. It looks absolutely amazing. But one thing I also absolutely love that just warmed my heart about this episode, man, was the fact that basically every move we see in this episode, almost all of them are based off Class A students' power sets. And I just think that's really awesome and wholesome that All Might, like when building this suit, he took cues from his students. I just think that's awesome, man. That was really cool to see. Like, we first see him use Red Riot, charging in on him to block an attack, man, which... This was so awesome, man. This had me grinning from ear to ear, man. As you guys will see in the reaction. And as he continues to once again choose the rush after that initial attack, he actually uses Black Whip, which is just like wires that go through one for all five. Once again, man, I just love the fact that he based all of his attacks based off the various classmates of UA, of his students. I don't know why I keep saying classmates. His students of UA, man. That's just awesome, man. Anyway, so he does that, and then he locks him in place, and then uses Charge Bolt to stop him from regenerating, or sends the electric current through the wires to stop him from regenerating. And by this point, man, All Might is low-key feeling himself at this point, man. He just starts mad shit talking All For One at this point, man. Talking about how talking about the way of fighting, that he would always start his attacks with a wide, long-range attack to weaken them before he steals his quirk. He says that way of fighting only works on someone who has a quirk. All Might saying, man, was just popping off during this episode, man. I cannot wait to hear this with the dub, man, because I know Chris Sabat finna go off here, man. He is gonna be having the time of his life voicing this. So, and all while this is going on, the cop, dude, I keep forgetting the dude's name, is absolutely flabbergasted by what he is seeing, man. And you got LeBron, so, what were you saying, Mr. Cop? You love to see, And then we get once again another Melissa cameo, as he continues on saying that after you had defeated me, I had no choice but to move to America. I made a friend there. That's how I was able to get this, man. We see Melissa once again, man. Yeah, people will still deny that the movies are canon, even though we've had like 3 episodes now confirm the canonicity of at least 2 heroes. So, yeah, by this point, man, the movies are indeed canon. They are fully canon. But yeah, it was nice to see Melissa get another canon. It's always good to see that. And then Omar says, I have never fought once with thinking that I was going to lose. And then he charges towards All For One again. This time has like one of his like car like shoots something towards him, which ends up being like this like rocket powered like this like rocket boot to his foot, and hits shoot style on him, man. Which that was fucking awesome, man. He's now using shoot style, man. Like, this is amazing, man. This fight, and by this point, man, he starts really feeling himself there. As he just starts continuously kicking him with a shoot style, he says, man, this is depressing. Here I am in my late 50s beating up on a helpless young man. The Demon Lord will be disgusted to hear about this. You are getting beat up by someone quirkless. I'll make you so focused on me that you'll forget yourself. By this point, this completely arranges All For One. He starts like combining like 20 different attacks into his palm, and then fires it off at Almond, which does give him to back off and sends him like fly into another building. We do find out that his left wrist and his collarbone are completely shattered though. So All Might is definitely feeling the injuries of this fight, man. But he ain't done yet. All Might is not done yet. All For One then, of course, reciprocates it, so shit-talking him and calling him a used-up piece of trash. Did you get a big hit after putting on a trash bag? That's one of the things I love about All For One, man. Like, I love the banter between these two, man. They got a good back and forth where they just shit-talk each other. This is when we get another flashback back with Toshino, with All Might, as well as Nana, where we see All Might. I'm assuming this was still before she actually started training him, or might have been like right at the start when he was training him, where we see All Might holding this stick or like it looks more like a lead pipe he was holding. You know what? Well, Nana is like on top of it, just like there's a bunch of dudes like right under her that I'm assuming she just beat up. Maybe All Might was there beforehand and he tried to help, but Nana was the one that finished them all off. I'm not entirely sure. But she asked him what the hell he was planning on doing, if he was planning on beating them with that little stick in his hand. And then All Might is just in awe of her before we cut back to the main fight. All Might charges towards him again for another punch. All For One seemingly blocks it. It seems like he has learned from the techniques of the chicken head from Viral Hit about how to get hit without getting hurt. Shout out to everyone that's watching Viral Hitman. That show, I've only seen the first 3 episodes of it. You guys know I was posting reaction clips of that when I went out on my Twitter. But honestly, the show's awesome, man. Especially as a YouTuber, man, I get a blast out. I get a real kick out of this show, man. So check it out if you haven't already. Viral Hit's awesome. But anyway, he like blocks her, doesn't really phase him that much. And For One tells him that it's not I'm falling for your plan of stalling. I just have the leeway to pick up some trash. And then that's when the Batmobile. Because literally, that's what, or no, it was it was Best Genius's car that look at Batmobile. All Might look more like it was a Lamborghini. That's kind of what it looked more like. But anyway, Hercules fires off another thing over towards All Might, which we find out is actually just a syringe filled with acid called Pinky, obviously, because, of how mean his quirk was. And he just injects that thing right in his entire body, his skin turns purple as he gets affected by the acid. And then All Might says, as All For One is trying to get it out of his system, he says, "You called me trash, right?" With this massive smile face. Then we get another flashback with Nana Shimura as All Might is just asking her to please be her disciple as he's just like marching towards her as she's just like floating around in the air with not a care in the world with like her legs up like she's sitting. And she's like, why? Don't be silly. You don't have a quirk, do you? And then she says, protect the area 3 meters around you with that stick. And then All Might tells her that his family was killed. Who were they killed by? Possibly All For One. We don't know, but I would assume perhaps it was All For One that killed his family, man. I do know we are going to get some more backstory of All Might, which I'm really looking forward to seeing that, because I've seen little bits of it from the manga, so I'm excited to see what that's about. But, yeah. Who knows? Was it All For One? Was it somebody else? I guess we'll have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. Nana once again tells him basically to fuck up, that she doesn't have time to help someone get revenge. And then All Might says, a world where those who steal from others gain the most, where the sorrow of those stolen from turns to hatred, this downward spiral. She's wondering what the hell he's going on about. He continues on saying, I want to make a world where everyone can smile and live together. A symbol is necessary for that to happen. She asks him what kind of symbol. Did anyone else get reminded of that scene from Batman Begins where Bruce talks about wanting to be a symbol? Because that's what was going in my head when I was watching the scene. As we see like the destruction of like a city game to smalls. I don't know if this is from All For One or some other type of villain attack. He continues on saying how people live in fear, their hearts are still covered in darkness, no matter how much is built and rebuilt. She asks him like, you want to give a show of power. He continues on saying everyone already has their hands full with their immediate surroundings. That's why I'll do it. Since I'm quirkless, I don't have a different job to do. And then we get a sign that says tattooing, if I pronounce that right. I think it's supposed to be a reference to Tatooine. You guys know that Horgerson loves to throw in Star Wars references whenever he can. So I think it might be a reference to Tatooine. So All Might ends up crashing into this building. By now, his ribs are fractured. He has contusions everywhere. The dude is fucked. By this point, All Might is fucked. He tries to stand up and the dude looks like a fucking zombie. By this point, his arms are all crooked and everything. Like, he literally looks like a zombie. Like something out of like Dawn of the Dead or something, man. And All Might knows that All For One is a little bit younger this time than he was before. He doesn't plan on mentioning because he doesn't want him to like return to his senses. But he's definitely, what he's doing is definitely working. He is definitely getting even younger than he did previously. And then All Might just starts laughing. And I mean laughing. I don't know if his injuries have caused him to start losing his mind, or if All Might is having the time of his fucking life. Either way, man, he is just laughing as he tells Hercules to send him even more stuff and keep piling it up there, man. He then has like this jetpacks that he has that are like that for Uraraka, some thrusters for Ida that he puts on his feet, man. He's got like 2 like little birds next to him, man, which I'm not sure what those are about. As we see like screenshots of the rest of the class that he has all this is getting suited up on him, man. And like I said, All Might Say You, man, sounded amazing as he's just laughing maniacally. I cannot wait to hear Chris Sabat's version of this episode, man. He is gonna pop off here, man. I cannot wait to see it, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, that's when we cut over back to Izuku as him and Shigaraki are now swirling around in the tornado, which we actually saw bits of this, and if you guys noticed, we actually saw bits of this in the next episode preview, which I think is the first time ever Bones has showed anything late into the episode in the next episode preview. I think. I could be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time they ever shown something like with that happens in like the last minute or so of the episode in the next episode preview. But then Izuku sees that All Might is indeed fighting, and that's when we end the episode with a split shot of Izuku versus Shigaraki in the tornado, and All Might and All for One. And that's where the episode ends, ladies and gentlemen. An amazing episode, man. Like I said, I don't know if I would go as far as declare this is a top 10 episode of the series, man, but damn it, it is. Like I said, if I ever do sit down and actually rank and create my top 10 list, my top 10 favorite episodes of Hero Waka, this might end up sneaking in there, man, but either way, man, this was such an incredible episode, man. We already got the new key vision for season 8, which is definitely alluding to a new form Izuku will be getting, man. If you've seen it, if you know, man, because that form goes hard. I cannot wait for season 8, man. Next year, if I had to guess by the rate they're going, I would assume that one will be coming out in fall of 2025. Maybe if we're lucky, I can get spring again. That would be nice, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be going. That's going to be releasing in the fall of next year, man. So we're probably going to have to wait at least like a full year, probably, for season 8 to come out, man, which, oh boy, that is gonna be a long wait, man. And if you guys are wondering, yes, I will be doing a reaction to the music video that dropped for season that they dropped yesterday. I meant to watch it yesterday and react to it, but I just completely forgot about it. So I'll be doing that tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, man, as always, overall my final for this episode is a 10 out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. As always, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on social media if you feel like it. Links are expressed below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.